There was once a young man named Micah who believed love meant carrying weight, no matter how heavy it became. This belief would nearly cost him his entire life, and the way he finally understood the truth is something you will not expect. Micah grew up with a younger brother named Asa, clever and charming, but never willing to work for anything he wanted. Their father died young, and their mother, worn thin from raising two boys alone, often told Micah, "You are the older one. Watch over your brother. Never let him fall." Micah took these words into his heart as though they were a sacred law. Whenever Asa avoided work, Micah worked twice as hard to cover for him. Whenever Asa spent money carelessly, Micah quietly gave him coins from his own savings, telling himself it was only temporary help. As they grew older, this pattern only deepened. Asa tried farming and abandoned it after one bad season. He tried trading and lost everything within a year, blaming dishonest merchants instead of his own carelessness. Each time he failed, he came to Micah's door, and each time Micah opened it. "I just need a little help," Asa would say, "and then I will stand on my own." Micah believed him every single time, because believing him felt easier than accepting the truth that was slowly forming in front of him. "If I let go of him, he will fall apart completely," Micah told himself night after night as he counted coins meant for his brother instead of his own future. He believed this so completely that he never once asked whether Asa was truly incapable or simply comfortable being carried. Years passed this way. Micah's back grew tired in ways that had nothing to do with physical labor. His hair began to gray earlier than it should have. His friends slowly stopped inviting him to gatherings, tired of hearing the same story of Asa's latest disaster and Micah's latest sacrifice. One autumn, Asa arrived at Micah's door again, this time claiming a great debt from a failed venture that threatened his freedom. Without hesitation, Micah agreed to help him travel to a distant town to settle the matter, carrying what little money they had left between them, along with supplies for the difficult mountain journey ahead. The road was steep and long, climbing through narrow passes where the wind cut sharply against exposed skin. Micah carried nearly everything: food, water, blankets, and coins, strapped tightly to his back in a large woven basket, while Asa walked beside him, complaining about the cold, the pace, and the roughness of the path. By the second day, Asa's complaints turned into refusal. "My legs ache too much," he said, sitting down stubbornly on a rock. "I cannot walk another step today." Micah, exhausted himself, but unwilling to abandon him on a dangerous mountain path, made a decision that would haunt him later. He emptied half the basket's supplies, helped his grown brother climb inside it, and continued walking with Asa's full weight now added to his own. At first, Micah told himself this was only for one difficult stretch of road. But Asa, discovering how comfortable it felt to be carried instead of walking, complained every morning about some new pain, some new excuse, until carrying him became simply how their journey continued, day after day. Micah's legs shook with every step up the mountain trail. His shoulders bled beneath the rough basket straps. His breath came in short, painful gasps as the air grew thinner with altitude. Still, from inside the basket, Asa's only concern was the roughness of the path. "You're shaking too much," he said once, irritated. "Can you walk more smoothly?" Micah said nothing. He simply kept climbing, one impossible step after another, believing until his very last strength that this suffering was proof of his love, that stopping now would mean his brother's ruin, that a good brother simply endured whatever weight was placed upon him. On the fourth day, near the highest and narrowest part of the mountain path, Micah's vision suddenly blurred. His legs, pushed far beyond their limit, buckled beneath him without warning. He collapsed onto the rocky trail, the heavy basket tumbling from his back and rolling several feet before coming to rest against a large stone. Micah lay on the ground, barely conscious, his body finally refusing to carry weight it had carried for far too many years. Through blurred vision, he watched Asa climb out of the overturned basket, brush dust from his clothes, and stand upright without the slightest difficulty, his legs perfectly strong and steady beneath him. Asa glanced around at the empty mountain path and looked down at his collapsed brother with mild irritation rather than concern. He knelt briefly, not to help Micah rise, but to reach into his brother's pocket and remove the last remaining coins meant for both their futures. Then he stood, adjusted his own leg pack, and walked on ahead up the very same steep path he had claimed for days he could not manage at all. Micah watched him disappear around a bend in the trail, his footsteps light and unhurried, his body moving with an ease that revealed the painful truth Micah had refused to see for years. Asa had never truly been unable to walk. He had simply been unwilling, for as long as someone else remained willing to carry him instead. An old traveling healer, descending the same mountain path that same afternoon, found Micah lying weak and injured among the scattered supplies. She helped him drink water, wrapped his bleeding shoulders, and sat with him as strength slowly returned to his shaking limbs. "Your brother?" she asked carefully, having heard fragments of his mumbled words. "Does he know how to walk on his own?" Micah, staring emptily at the empty trail ahead, finally spoke the truth aloud for the first time in his life. "He always knew," he whispered. "He just never needed to, as long as I kept bending my back for him." The healer nodded slowly, unsurprised. "I have seen this path claim many travelers, not from the mountain itself, but from the weight they insisted on carrying alone. Tell me, young man, in all your years of carrying your brother, did his life ever truly improve? Or did only your body grow weaker while his comfort grew stronger?" Micah had no answer, because the truth had never occurred to him in these exact words before. He had measured his love only in how much pain he was willing to endure, never once asking whether that pain was actually helping his brother grow, or simply allowing him to remain forever a passenger in someone else's exhausted life. Slowly, painfully, Micah made his way back down the mountain, without his brother, without the basket, without the coins that had been taken from him. For the first time in many years, his back felt strangely light, even as his body ached from the journey's damage. When he returned home, Micah did not go searching for Asa. He did not send word demanding repayment or apology. Instead, he sat quietly with his own thoughts for the first time in a very long while, slowly remembering forgotten pieces of his own life buried beneath years of carrying someone else's. He wrote to the merchant in the distant city, the one who had once offered him honest work years before. He began slowly and carefully to rebuild a life that belonged entirely to himself. Asa did eventually return to the village many months later, thinner and more troubled than before, his usual charm worn away by consequences he could no longer avoid. He came to Micah's door, expecting the same open arms, the same willing back, the same basket waiting to carry him through another crisis of his own making. This time, Micah stood in his doorway without stepping aside. "I love you," he said quietly, and meant it completely. "But I will not carry you again. Your legs have always worked. It is time you finally used them." Asa's face twisted with disbelief and anger, but Micah did not move, did not soften, did not reach for coins he no longer had to give away. For the first time in his entire life, Asa stood at the bottom of his own mountain with no basket waiting to lift him. No brother bent low beneath his weight, only his own two legs and the long climb ahead of him that he alone would have to make. This story reveals something painful that many people discover far too late in their own lives. There is a profound difference between helping someone who is struggling to rise and carrying someone who has simply decided walking is no longer necessary as long as you remain willing to bend your back beneath them. Think honestly about your own relationships. Is there someone in your life you have been carrying for years, convinced that letting go would destroy them, when in truth, your constant carrying may be the very thing preventing them from ever discovering their own strength? The cost of carrying someone who refuses to walk is this: you spend your own irreplaceable years bent beneath a weight that was never truly necessary. while the person you are carrying loses nothing, learns nothing, and grows nothing, because growth was never required of them as long as you remained willing to suffer in their place. You are not saving someone when you do for them what they must learn to do for themselves. You are only stealing their strength while giving away your own life. Stop carrying those who have chosen to lie down. Set the basket aside, and you may finally discover how many mountains you are always capable of climbing on your own.